There we go. SCP-100. Object Class: Euclid. Special Containment Procedures. SCP-100 is to have 6 guards patrolling the interior of the perimeter's fencing, and 2 guards dedicated to the monitoring of the interior and exterior of both warehouses and the residential building, with rotations to occur every 3 hours. Any unauthorized personnel found within SCP-100 are to be detained for questioning prior to anesthetic administration and release. 3 guards are to remain within the storefront of SCP-100, with rotations to occur every 8 hours. The storefront entrance is to remain locked at all times, with keys provided to necessary personnel. Private property and no trespassing signs are to be posted on the front of the storefront to deter any drivers from stopping at SCP-100. Any constructs SCP-1001 creates are to be removed from SCP-100 and melted down into slag, with the exception of SCP-1002-A and SCP-1002-B. Should SCP-1001 become uncooperative, SCP-1002-A and SCP-1002-B may be removed from SCP-100 until the time that SCP-1001 becomes cooperative again. The largest of the 2 warehouses within SCP-100 has been converted into a basic research facility. All objects created by SCP-101, excluding SCP-102-A and SCP-102-B, may be used for research purposes. Testing on SCP-101 itself may only be conducted with written permission from the acting head researcher. Description: SCP-100 is an abandoned scrapyard 80 kilometers from South Carolina, known as Jamaican Joe's Junkyard Jubilee. The scrapyard covers roughly 5,000 square meters of fenced-off land, consisting of 2 warehouses, a storefront, and a small residential building, as well as neglected land and land used for storage. SCP-100 holds roughly 1,500 vehicles, both pressed and unpressed, as well as roughly 1,400 kilograms of separate scrap, estimated to be worth $5,000. SCP-100's anomalous effects manifest through SCP-101, and it consists including SCP-102-A and SCP-102-B. Autonomy is lost when SCP-101 or one of its objects cross the fence perimeter of SCP-100, remaining in this state until reintroduction. SCP-101 is an autonomous sapient humanoid construct consisting mostly of copper piping, uninsulated copper wiring, and aluminium cans. SCP-101 lacks the ability for written and verbal communication. However, it possesses the ability to communicate using rudimentary sign language. SCP-101 is largely uninterested in conversation outside of sales, and information gathered from it has been limited. SCP-101 appears to possess skills in craftsmanship, demonstrating the ability to operate tools such as arc welders, drills, and power saws, as well as heavy machinery such as car compressors and forklifts. SCP-101 possesses the ability to create autonomous constructs similar to itself, using material available within SCP-100. SCP-101 tends to create 4 specific animals: iguanas, crocodiles, turtles, and flamingos. However, SCP-101 has been known to craft other species, such as domestic pets. To maintain compliance, SCP-101 has been allowed to keep 2 objects, labeled SCP-102-A and SCP-102-B. SCP-102-A and SCP-102-B are constructs superficially resembling insects, assumed to be created by SCP-100, as they have occupied SCP-100 since the initial discovery of SCP-100. The names Ramon and Beatrice are wielded into the backs of SCP-100-2A and 102-B, respectively. They appear to operate as both companions as well as guards for SCP-100, as they patrol the perimeter of SCP-100 except during intervals of interaction with SCP-101 or 101. SCP-101 appears to follow a ritualistic schedule, repeating the same actions daily. From 0800 hours to 1500 hours, SCP-101 entered the storefront of SCP-100, seating itself behind a counter and attempting to bargain with any humans within the storefront. Occasionally, SCP-101 will return to the yard prematurely for reasons unknown. From 1500 to 1600, SCP-101 interacts with SCP-102-A and SCP-102-B. Communicating using vague hand and arm gestures, interaction tends to consist of grooming, repair, and activities resembling fetch and hide and seek. From 1600 to 2000, SCP-101 performs various tasks, including taking stock of material within SCP-100, cleaning and maintaining tools and heavy machinery, including the interiors and exteriors of buildings present within SCP-100. From 2000 to 0000, SCP-101 performs what is assumed to be leisurely acts, ranging from creating new constructs, interacting with SCP-102-A and SCP-102-B, and patrolling SCP-100. From 2400 to 0800, SCP-101 enters the residential building, where it remains seated at a desk for the duration of this time. In the event that a human enters the storefront of SCP-100 during the interval of time SCP-101 is seated behind the counter, SCP-101 will attempt to bargain with them, using a variety of gestures to convey meaning. Most attempts of SCP-101 are to sell scrap, figures of its own creation, or repair services. However, it has been known to purchase scrap. Despite SCP-101's inability to read, it possesses the ability to perform basic mathematics, and demonstrated by sales. Sales made by SCP-101 are typically met with some degree of unfairness. SCP-101 has been known to intentionally use faulty scales and contaminate scrap piles with cheaper materials and has demonstrated knowledge of the area of effect within SCP-100. As SCP-101 has sold constructs repeatedly, despite the loss of autonomy when exiting SCP-100. Efforts to confront SCP-101 about this have been met with both distress and indifference, with referral to a sign posted on the wall reading "No refunds, Mon." Happening regardless of SCP-101's emotional response. SCP-100 was discovered on 11th of the 9th, 1976, following reports of strange machines operating from within the scrapyard. These rumours were discredited as urban legends, and a Foundation agent was sent to SCP-100 to act as the landowner until containment was performed under the guise of a property sale. A wooden privacy fence was built along the perimeter of SCP-100. One-way windows were installed in the storefront, and a highway now running through the nearby town redirects the majority of civilian traffic. Addendum 100A. Records show the property is owned by one Joseph Duvall, with the mailing address sharing the same name. Local utility companies report billing had stopped approximately 3 months before the discovery of SCP-100, which was found abandoned, save for SCP-101, SCP-102-A, and SCP-102-B. Several avian and canine figures presumed to be made by SCP-101 as well. The initial sweep of the building revealed the residential building to be mostly bare, with the only sign of former occupants being note found taped to the door on the storefront. See Document 100A. Incident 100A. On the 6th of the 3rd, 2005, SCP-101 created a humanoid autonomous construct 10 centimeters in height, the first time SCP-101 has done so. Significant effort was put into this construct compared to others, with greater detail applied to the construct. Initial facial features and JJ welded into the back of the construct, and stainless steel making up the majority of the construct. SCP-101 placed the construct on the counter of the storefront for the duration of this scheduled interval, both using vague gestures to seemingly communicate with one another. Following the confiscation of this construct, SCP-101 remained seated within the residential building of SCP-100 for a total of 10 days. Document 100A. The following copy of the note recovered upon discovery of SCP-101 that was taped to the door. Out to lunch. Please see Assistant JJ.